There's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. One that for the past 30 years has traveled the world teaching others. A pioneer in America of the fighting science of Savate. One who codified the sports of this fighting style. One who has produced clubs, champions, and continues to develop. Listen to words of Professor Buitron. Come train at the best kept secret of Laredo. Buitron Academy, 956-401-4868. Savate.biz.
Hello everyone, I hope everybody's doing well. It's a great start to a new week. And you know, we're here to the questions and viewpoints. We're in the 70s now. I want to reach 100, which we will. We have too many questions and come and go. I know my son and I look at them and we see which ones are the best ones. But there was one that a student of mine asked, and he goes, "Can you talk to us about your Professor Paul Viviani?" For sure. You know, Paul Viviani was my professor. A lot of individuals know that I was made professor under Robert Patorel, but I was also made a professor under Paul Viviani in Box Francais, as well as Can and Baton. And my other professor that I was made underneath or formed was Roger Lafont under Savate and Panache. And you know, I had another professor that people don't know about that literally taught me how to run a school, how to run the organization, how to run an event, how to prepare for an event, how to prepare everything as a lesson plan, and that was Michel Gilbert. But today I'm going to talk about Paul Viviani. Who was he? How was he? How did he teach? What did he teach? Well, here it goes. When I first went into Savate, and I was in France, okay, I was taken to the French Federation by Michel Roger, who was then international vice president of the International Federation of Savate. And he introduced me to everybody. The first day I met Count Pierre Baruzzi. Count Pierre Baruzzi came over and gave me a coup de bas to the shin, and we headed off, and that was the way it was. And when we were there, he also introduced me to a lot of different departments that existed. And in one of the departments was a man by the name of Paul Viviani. I met him, and I said, "Hi, bye, how are you?" Shook his hand, and you know, I was taken to a meeting quickly with the technical director, which was Claude Valadier at the time. And he says, "Here's your school, here's what you're supposed to be doing. You have to go to Vincennes at INSEP, and you have to register over there. I know that you go to school with Patorel on Mondays and Thursdays, but we also want you to start becoming, and this is your club. You know, you're a monitor already, Paul. This is a club where what you need. And you're going to be teaching under Michel Gilbert." So I was Club ASPTT. Well, I went over there, you know, I introduced myself to Michel when I got there, and we started laughing because, you know, he talked to me in English and I would talk to him in French, and that's the way I started learning. At Club ASPTT, I met great individuals. You know, I met world champion Richard Thomas, who's also my brother in INSEP. I met Big Blue, Andre Germain, Professor Big Blue. There were others, many others that were some great fighters, some great talent, some great martial artists that came out of ASPTT. But one day, I was talking to Professor Gilbert, and he goes, "I'm going to give you a ride because, you know, they're having not a riot, how can I say? They were protesting the metro, so the metro was closed. So everybody had to get taxis and walk, and you can imagine Paris without no metro, okay? So he gave me a ride to where I was at, and I said, "You know what, I would really like to see what Can is." And he goes, "Pass by Wednesday and we'll show you some Can." I said, "Sure." So I passed by Wednesday. It was about a month into my training area already. And all of a sudden, here shows up a man, which was Paul Viviani. I had seen him before, big old mustache, you know, shows up. And he goes, "Oh, so you want to learn Can?" So he said, "Go show me. This is how we do it, and this is how we started." And he started teaching me. He was teaching Michel Gilbert. He was teaching André Germain. He was teaching several other professors. That's where I met Lulu Mercader. And he basically said, this is what it is. But there's other weapons after this. There's Baton, which we just created a complete separate federation for, and we're hoping to develop the sport. So I said, I want to learn. How can I learn? And he goes, you're at the federation. You're going to be there on Friday. He goes, yeah, I'll meet you there on Friday. Sure. So I was at the federation, at that time frame. I was very new. Every Friday I had to show up, show my grades, show what I was doing, show that I was actually an asset to the French Federation for the scholarship that they had given me. I show up and I'm there, and he's there talking with Claude Valadier, and Claude Valadier nods and comes over and he goes, oh, yeah, on Monday morning, you're going to end up going to Paris University 12, which was Sorbonne University. And he goes, and you're going to be learning Gan and Baton. You're going to be doing all the classes that he teaches. I said, really? Okay. So on Monday morning, Viviani says, I'll meet you at this metro stop. And I said, sure. And he goes, I'll meet you there at 6:30 in the morning. He goes, because at 7 o'clock you have to register. My first class is at 8. I said, okay. So I get there, wake up, and I told Patrol said, yeah, that's what you're here for. That's what you're going to learn. So I was so enthused about it. I remember going into class. There were 60 people. This was a PE class at Sorbonne University that they were teaching La Canne de Combat. As soon as we go in there, I start learning. He says, I have another class after this, which is Baton. Okay, so I started learning Baton. It was a class, actually. And he goes, after this, you're going to learn Gan with the team of Sorbonne University. I said, okay. So every day, Monday through Friday, I would make sure that I was there for class, because I had to be there. And I'll get there at 7:30 in the morning, and I'll do 3 classes. At 12:30, I'll start back to the metro, and I'll take off to Vincennes to be part of INSEP, which I had to be over there by 1:30 to 4. Okay, that was my day. That was my schooling. So, what did I learn? I learned that there was a difference between boxe française and savate. I learned the appendage disciplines and their concurrent disciplines, which was Gan de Combat as well as Baton. And I met his teacher, which was a great Maurice Sari, which taught us the other pole arms that existed. Through him, we started working on lutte parisienne. He started telling me what lutte parisienne was. And he was the one that talked to Patorel, and when I became a professor, they put me into this group, which were all professors, which were learning lutte parisienne. It was a great experience. I met great individuals that are my brothers now, like Laurent Mercadier, Professor Mercadier. We did lutte parisienne together. We did Cannes, we did Baton. André Germain, Big Blue, it's another one. Le Provost from Bobigny. These were guys who were keeping alive the disciplines that were not mainstream. Okay, and I say mainstream. The number one was Savate boxe française. That's what brought in money. See, everybody that does Savate, everybody says, oh, you're going to learn everything. No, Savate boxe française. There's a lot of great individuals that go into clubs, but let's say you have a club of 20 individuals. You might have one fighter in that club, maybe 2. You have a club of 60, you're probably going to have 3 or 4. And then there's clubs that just specify specifically, and they specify what they teach. They teach people to go in the ring. These people teach it for fitness. These people teach it as a martial art. Then you start looking and see where they're at. Then there are certain different professors. The professors were what makes the art in its different totality. But, Jean-Paul Viviani was a student was formed under Marcel Lasso, was formed in Cannes under Maurice Sari, and as well as Panache under Roger Lafont. he was very quick. He was very, how can I say, when you did the techniques, he was not only very quick, he was very precise, and there was a lot of malice to the technique as well as those of my others, right? But there was a lot of malice to the point of you were hurting from day one. You knew something was going to happen. In Khan, it was very hard to get into. I learned from him. When we used to do Khan with one Khan with one blade, 2 canes at one time, when a lot of the other professors were only doing it with one, Jean-Paul was the one that was opening up the doors for others to do. When we started touching base with the whip, it was with him as well. The umbrella, the hook cane, because there's techniques with a hook cane and techniques with a straight cane. And it was just amazing to see. They're all, I remember when I'll be at the Metro, I will document all the techniques that I had learned that day and what we had done. Later on in time, he came to the States several times. He was a technical director of the International Guild of Dancers Savate. After that, it was passed on to me at the age of 29. The last time I saw him was in 2013. And he says, "You haven't gotten bored with the politics of the Federation?" I said, "No. That's what happened with the Federation. It got too overbearing to too many people, that they left the life of Savate because of the politics that were involved. These were great individuals with a lot of knowledge, and it is a shame that they are no longer involved with our precious art because of the politics inside." So I remember he used to say, within Savate, you have to be a street fighter, you have to know the ring, and you have to understand the politics. And if you can do that, you're going to go far. Politics is the hardest fight to be in, because in a fight within the ring, it's easy because you can out-technique the other person. You have to out-train them. You have to condition yourself a little bit better. So there was a lot of things that Jean-Paul taught me. Viviani, to me, is what a saboteur should be like, what a boxe française individual should be like. The way he carried himself, the way he walked, the way he used the articles of clothing for panache, the way he used his jacket, the way everything was just a total element of fighting. He was a person that was well respected in all levels, not only by the fighters, by the coaches, by the corners, by the students, by the judges, and by the officials, as well as the folks inside the Federation. And it was just sad that inside the Federation, you have to understand that there were folks that were very much brown-nosing their way up to the top. It's like in any other association, and if you do not guide it correctly, it'll break it, and that's basically what happened. But none of that, they're still keeping the art alive, the art that we love. And hopefully that's a little information on my professor, Jean-Paul Viviani. There's a lot of techniques of lutte parisienne that are within Dancers Savate that come from him. There's a lot. There's a lot of techniques with a cane and without a cane, and how you can transfer doing the same technique with or without a cane to become a better fighter. A lot of individuals say, no, you use a cane, you cannot use your fist. It's a total different entity. It's all in one. And that's what Jean-Paul Viviani taught me. The elegance, the class, as well as the precision that you needed. When to be malicious in your technique to stop an opponent, whether it was in boxe française or whether it was in Khan or Baton, and what the weapons actually meant while you were training and how to develop people in it. I miss those days, but those days are gone. But within our school, we still teach that just like they did. They always taught, and there's nothing really that's changed. Only time and new students. But other than that, if you like this, press share. If you like what we're doing, press like, share, subscribe. I'm getting a lot of questions about online classes. Folks, join, buy me a coffee at Buitrón Academy. That's where you're getting all the information. There's way too much content already on YouTube. There's members only contact, and that's the only way you can get it, is by buy me a coffee at Buitrón Academy. And if you want to learn techniques for yourself, if you want to start learning the sets and start going up the rank, there's that too. If you're a saboteur already, want to learn a little bit more on how to run a school, there's that as well. So remember, there's some members, there's the crew, which I suggest folks to join, and then again, our inner circle for those that really want to learn how to teach and produce Savate in a better way. Until next time, much peace, and take care of yourself.